Good morning, students. Welcome back for our English class. Are you all ready for the class? Do you remember what we have learned in the last class? We have learned a poem, isn't it? What is the title? The Children's Hour, which is written by Henry Wordsworth Longfellow. What we have learned about this poet? He was an American poet and he is referred as the children's poet, isn't it? And shall we revise the first four stanzas we have learned in the last class? Here the poet is explaining about the atmosphere of his house, of his castle, and which is the time here he mentioned is not the daytime, not the night time, it's the twilight time, isn't it? And he is saying that that is the apt time, that is the suitable time for him to play with his children, that is the suitable time for him to spend with his daughters. What are the names of his three daughters? Alice, Allegra and Edith. Do you remember that? Okay, good. Then what he is saying about his three daughters that they are coming down from the chamber where they are, which is above the place where he is sitting and is reading a book. They are coming down through the stairs and are whispering. They are silently speaking among themselves and they are planning to surprise their father. This is what we have learned in the last class. Shall we move on to the next stanza? Before that, let's read the poem once again. So all of you open your book and take page number 23. The Children's Hour. Between the dark and the daylight, when the night is beginning to lower, comes a pause in the day's occupations that is known as the children's hour. I hear in the chamber above me the patter of little feet, the sound of a door that is opened, and voices soft and sweet. From my study I see in the lamplight descending the broad hall stair, grave Alice and laughing Allegra and Edith with golden hair. A whisper and then a silence. Yet I know by their merry eyes they are plotting and planning together to make me by surprise. A sudden rush from the stairway, a sudden raid from the hall. By three doors left unguarded, they enter my castle wall. They climb up into my turret, over the arms and back of my chair. If I try to escape, they surround me. They seem to be everywhere. They almost devour me with kisses, their arms about me entwine, till I think of the Bishop of Bingen in his mouse tower on the Rhine. Do you think, O blue-eyed banditty, because you have scaled the wall, such an old moustache as I am, is not a match for you all? I have you fast in my fortress, and will not let you depart, but put you down into the dungeon in the round tower of my heart. And there will I keep you forever, yes, forever and a day, till the walls shall crumble to ruin and moulder in dust away. Can you all read the poem, students? Good. A sudden rush from the stairway, a sudden raid from the hall. By three doors left unguarded, they enter my castle wall. The three daughters of the poet attacked him suddenly. They rushed down from the stairs and are surprising their father. You children also do the same, isn't it? You will hide in some place, and when your father or your mother, when they are coming nearby you, you'll surprise them, you'll make them to be shocked, isn't it? Similarly, these three children are doing. He compares himself with a castle here. The poet, he compares himself with a castle, and he says that his daughters are entering into his castle as there is nobody to guard. Every castle will be guarded by some people, some soldiers, some guards. But here there is nobody, and he is saying that my three daughters are entering into the castle as there is nobody to guard. That is, there is nobody to hinder them. There is no obstacles for them to reach their dad. He is showing that much love for them. His three daughters are so loving and affectionate to him, and so there is no need for them to get permission from anybody to meet their dad. So in this stanza, what the poet is saying, the poet compares himself with a castle, and he is saying that just like the castle which is unguarded by people, my three daughters are entering into the castle. My three daughters are coming and visiting me. They are attacking me with their love. There is nobody to hinder them. There is no obstacles for them to meet me. The three daughters are so loving and affectionate towards him, and so there is no need of getting any permission from anybody to meet him, to meet their dad. Okay, have you all understood? Next, the three, they climbed up into my turret, over the arms and back of my chair. If I try to escape, they surround me. They seem to be everywhere. Now, he is saying that his three daughters are climbing up over the arms and back of the chair in which the poet is sitting. Already, we know that the poet is reading a book in his chamber, isn't it? He is sitting in a chair and is reading a book, reading something. Now these three girls are climbing on the chair through the back and arms of the chair, and it's like climbing on a small tower on the top of a castle. Have you all seen castle? You can see the picture of castle here, isn't it? This is castle. So each castle has so many towers on the top. He is saying that just like climbing on small towers of a castle, my daughters are climbing on me through the chairs, through the back and the arms of the chair. They are climbing. Three daughters are completely hold him. They catch him. He cannot escape from their attack, which means he cannot escape from the love of his three daughters. And three of them surrounds him completely. He cannot escape from them. There are three daughters for the poet, and three of them surrounds him completely. They are surrounding him. They stands around the chair. He is in the center. He cannot escape. Similarly, from the love of his daughters, this poet, he cannot escape. He cannot escape from the love of his daughters. It's like the father or the poet, he is captured by somebody from his castle. The poet is captured by the love of his daughters. He cannot get out from the love of his daughters. His daughters almost like swallow him. They are kissing him continuously. Let's read the next stanza. They almost devour me with kisses. Their arms about me entwine. till I think of the Bishop of Bingen in his mouse tower on the Rhine. Now his daughters, they are standing around him and they are holding him tightly. They are climbing on the chair, on the poet, and are holding him tightly and are kissing him continuously. They are expressing their love for their dad. Their arms almost curl him. It's like, you all know what is meant by curl, isn't it? Curling. So similarly, these girls' arms completely curl their dad. They all hold him tightly and are kissing him. It looks like a story of the Bishop of Bingen. It's an old legend. It's an old folk tale. It's an old fable. It's an old folk tale. It's an old legend, old story. We do not know whether it is true or not. He compares this incident with the Bishop of Bingen. Hatto II. Hatto II is the Archbishop of Mainz. It's a place in Germany. He was a very cruel king. Who is a cruel king? This Hatto II. He is the Archbishop of Mainz. It's a place in Germany. And he is a cruel king. He has a mouse tower. Mouse tower, that is a stone tower on a small island in the Rhine, which is also there in Germany. He used this tower as a platform for his archer. Archer? Do you all know what is archer? One who shoots with bow and arrow. They are called as archer. These archers, and what is the duty of these archers? These archers will be there in the tower and they are collecting money from the people who are passing on the river through in their ships. So these archers are there in the tower. They are collecting regular payment from ships which are passing. This is the duty of these archers there in the mouse tower, which is owned by Hatto II. He is a cruel ruler. And one day this cruel king is attacked by an army of mice. A group of mice is called as the army of mice. Now humpty number of mice were there and are attacking this Hatto II, this archbishop. A group of mice in his castle, they are all attacking him suddenly. And this Hatto takes his boat to his tower. He tries to escape from the attack of the mice and he takes his boat and he moves to his mouse tower. But these mice also followed him and ate him, and thus this Hatto II died. This is an old legend. Here this poet is saying that similarly, just like those mice which ate the Hatto II, that cruel ruler, my daughters are kissing me just like those mice. Those mice ate that Hatto II, isn't it? Here this poet is comparing that. His three daughters are continuously kissing their father, kissing their dad. And so he is saying that he is comparing himself with that incident, that mouse star incident in which this Hatto II was attacked by a group of an army of mice. Next. Do you think, O blue-eyed banditty, because you have scaled the wall, such an old moustache as I am, is not a match for you all? The poet is saying that he is an old person now. He compares his daughters with robbers. What is the role? What is the duty of the robbers? The robbers usually enters into a house or a castle and they will steal. They will rob something from that castle, something from that house, isn't it? That is the only duty of these robbers. He is comparing Here he is comparing his daughters with robbers. He is saying that they are robbers, but there is nothing to take from me. There is nothing to take from this house, which means he already compares himself with a castle, isn't it? So he is saying that these robbers cannot get anything from me. And he is saying that I am so old, I cannot play with you all just like once I was. Very old, you cannot get anything from this castle. He is comparing his daughters with robbers and himself with a castle, and he is saying that my daughters, robbers usually take something from a castle, from a house. Similarly, my daughters are trying to take something from me, but I cannot give anything because nothing is there within me. His daughters are showing their love, extreme love towards their dad, but he is saying that I am growing old. Sometimes I will die, or I may die very soon, so that I cannot repay the same love for my daughters. This is what he is saying in this stanza, and that's why he said, such an old mustache as I am is not a match for you all. Next. I have you fast in my fortress and will not let you depart, but put you down into the dungeon in the round tower of my heart. Now the poet is saying to his daughters that they came into his fortress. Fortress means it's a building made strong against the attack of an enemy. You might have seen in cartoons, you might have seen in movies. The palace will be there inside this fortress. A palace and a kingdom is completely covered with fortress. Nobody can enter into that palace, enter into that kingdom without any difficulties. This fortress will be strong. It's like a strong wall which covers, which is around the entire kingdom. So he is saying that his daughters came into his fortress, into his area. So he will arrest them and put them in his dungeon. Dungeon, it's like prison. So he is saying that now his three daughters enters into his kingdom, enters into his castle by crossing the fortress. And so he'll arrest them and he will put them in prison. He will imprison them. Here, the poet refers the prison or the dungeon with his heart. He compares his heart, his deep love with the dungeon. So he is saying that he will keep these three daughters, he will imprison them in his heart. Next, and they will I keep you forever, yes, forever and a day, till the walls shall crumple to ruin and moulder in dust away. He is saying that he will keep his three daughters in his heart forever. It's an everlasting love, isn't it? Do the love of a father vanish in 1 day or 2 days or 1 year or 2 years? No. The love of a father for his daughter is everlasting. Similarly, this poet is saying he will keep his three daughters in his heart, in the dungeon. In the castle he is living, he compares himself with a castle, isn't it? So he is saying that he is comparing his heart with a dungeon. He is saying that he will keep his three daughters in that dungeon, in his heart. And he says that till his death he will keep his love for them in his heart. Till the last day of this poet, he will keep this. He will maintain the same love for his three daughters in his heart. Till the castle crumpled, shattered, that is, one day he will leave this world. One day he will die. He is going to die. Maybe he'll die very soon. So he is saying that till the day of my death, I will keep this love for my daughters till I shatters, till the castle gets crumpled. It shatters, it breaks down into pieces. Here he is referring himself to death. Till the day of his death, he will maintain, he will keep the same love for his daughters. This is what the explanation for this poem, the children's are. Have you all understood, students? Students, let's do the textbook exercise. Open your book and take page number 20. Identify the subject and object in each of the following sentences. The first one is already done for us, isn't it? The prince loves sunset. Here, prince is the subject, sunsets is the object. Prince, he is the doer of the action, and sunsets is the receiver of the action done by the subject, and thus prince became the subject and sunsets object. Next, Neha has lost her favorite purse. Neha is the subject, purse object. The principal will reward the deserving students. Principal, subject, students, object. My parents seldom watch television. Parents is the subject, television, object. The audience appreciated the talented actor. Audience, subject, actor, object. Next, use each of the following nouns in a sentence as a subject. Make another sentence using the same noun as an object. Here, the first one, my family has 6 members. Here, family is a noun which is used as a subject about which we are talking about. And so here family is the subject. And when it comes in the place of object, I love and care for my family. Here this family is the receiver of the action, and so it comes as object. And we have 5 more words to be written as subject and object. Will you all do it? This is your homework today. Please try to write a sentence for each of these words as subject and object. That's all for today's class, students. See you all in the next class. Until, take care. Thank you.